Hey guys, if you're shopping for knives and gear, make sure you check out the description of the video you're watching right now for a link to my Amazon store where I've compiled some of the very best items available, including some of my own personal recommendations. Thanks! What's going on, YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another interesting knife review / knife overview to share with you guys. This is the Knives Kitefin. This is a knife that has been gaining some momentum here recently. I've got a lot to say about it. This knife was sent to me by the Pass Around group, the Apex Pass Around group. Shout out to all of my buddies, fellow reviewers in the Apex Pass Around group. I really appreciate that. And we also, really by extension, the knife company actually sent this guy along. So thanks so much. As usual, try not to let that affect my review, but it should be pretty easy because I don't get to keep the knife. Thank you to all of my generous patrons who are supporting me right now. I wouldn't be able to bring you guys this content without my patrons. So if you'd like to check out my Patreon, get your hands on some of those cool stickers and some other exclusive benefits, there's a link down in the description. The support would mean the world to me. Let's go ahead and get a measurement on this guy. Overall length of the Kitefin coming in at just about 7.5 inches. I think it is right at 7.5 inches. The blade length is coming in at 3 1/4. Cutting edge is coming in at 2.75. Good size there. It's kind of a medium-large folding knife, not a full-size knife, not what I would define as a full-size folding knife, but you can get a full purchase on it. It's just kind of a medium-large folder. How about some size comparisons up against the Ontario Rat Model 1? Rat 1 coming in at 8.6 inches overall. How about up against the Spyderco PM2? PM2 coming in at 8.3 inches overall. How about up against the Benchmade Griptilian, or in this case, the Ritter Hogue? Ritter Hogue coming in at 8 inches overall. And last but not least, the Spyderco Para 3. Spyderco Para 3 coming in at 7 1/4. These are very close in size. There's no, well, there is a forward choil, but the handle room on these is very similar, and the blade length, or actual cutting edge, is also very similar. Obviously, their profiles are completely different. Let's go ahead and do the hardware check, because I always seem to put that a little late. Get out my handy-dandy WIA magnetic driver and, bit selector and WIA magnetic driver, two items that are very inexpensive and very, very recommendable. You can find them both down in the Amazon store that's referenced at the very beginning of every video. Just pull up in the store and look for knife maintenance. As is the case with most WIA knives, I'm going to guess that it's T8, 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 and probably T6 in there. Yeah. So the only thing that's not T8 are the pocket clip screws, which I always give a pass on. You don't necessarily have to take the pocket clip off to disassemble the knife. So great. WIA does a great job of that. Thank you, WIA, for making your hardware T8. Why? Because the bit's a little bigger, you're less likely to strip it out, and when it's all the same size, you don't have to switch the bit. So great. Wonderful. Love it. Let's go ahead and talk about the action. Ooh, so this flips like a WIA and like a Civivi. Does this look like a Civivi? Sorry. Woo, that is sharp. God, we're going to talk about, that caught my fingernail and just shaved it. We're going to talk about the edge here in a sec. So Civivi is a subsidiary of WIA. They make WIA's budget line. They do an excellent job of it. Like every single knife that they come out with has a great blade profile. It's a great ergonomic design. The build quality is great. The materials are pretty good, G10 and D2, but we get tired of seeing that. WIA, on the other hand, they like to make knives between the $200 and $300 mark usually. Titanium, carbon fiber, some combination of the two, S35VN, M390, right? But they cost more money. So, and they're all from China, and I understand, people are like, I don't want to buy China, or I don't care, people are, whatever. It's your money, you live in the USA, you have the right to spend what you want on what you want, do what you're going to do. I will continue to review US knives on this channel. I'll continue to review Chinese knives, Japanese knives, German knives, Italian knives, whatever. I'm a knife guy. I'm going to review them. You guys can decide what you want to do on your own. But anyways, WIA makes the higher end stuff, and Civivi makes the more budget stuff. What we have here is very obviously a Civivi-esque blade, but with WIA's build quality and materials. And it's weird. It's like one of those things that nobody specifically asked for, but here it is, and wow, it has an amazing form. So what they decided to do was make a thin, lightweight profile. So it is substantially thinner than the PM2. It does have a flipper tab, not super long and not super tall. So you can see here up against the Spyderco PM2 and Spyderco Pair 3, two knives that have awkward carry profiles that nobody ever complains about. It is not as long as either of them, and it is not as tall. It's also not as thick, which means it's going to make for a very, very carryable knife. And to top it all off, even though it is made out of titanium, and let me look on the inside here real quick. Whoops, what the heck? No milling on the inside. These are solid titanium scales, right? So to drive my point home here, what we have is a knife that weighs 2.89 ounces, which is right there in that whole ounce and inch thing for people who use that as a way of determining whether or not they're getting major utilitarian benefit out of the cutting edge. This knife is going to carry well in just about anything except athletic shorts. If you're wearing athletic shorts, better stick with the mini bug out. For everybody else, this is going to work just fine. The action on this guy, I think we started to talk about action when I shaved my fingernail, but the action on this guy is great. It is a very, very thin blade, which we're going to measure here in a second, and that's the only reason it's not falling shut. This is a little tight. It's obviously brand new, but these will break in. It's very smooth, and it's very easy to operate, very easy to manipulate, no double clutch. Everything works just fine. Let me give you guys an example of how thin this blade stock is. It's even thin considering they obviously were going for a Civivi-esque blade, which, you know, Civivi does the really thin blade stocks. Ooh! Thin, 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 thin. Very cool. Did we get through everything? Let's go ahead and talk about this guy. So this knife is available right now, but I'm guessing that it will be gone quick. If you want to pick this knife up, you bet there's a link down there you guys can use if you want to pick it up. There are different variants. I think there's a carbon fiber variant. There's different titanium finishes. This one I really like. It's got kind of this, it looked like they made circles all the way down and then crossed them. And then we've got a subdued bronze finish underneath and then a polished bronze finish on the circle mills. Beautiful. Nicely chamfered, whatever you want to say, all the way around. The titanium hardware is also anodized. And look at that clip. You even get a titanium clip that's been flamed, and they have polished these little bowls on the inside of the clip. Beautiful. I love titanium hardware, and I love bronze titanium hardware. This is a good looking setup. If it's not your cup of tea, they've got a couple of different variations. That's how we like to do things. Let's take a look at this blade. This is a satin finished S35VN blade. I'll edit that if I'm wrong. Pretty sure that's an S35VN. It's hard to tell because they don't put anything on it. They took a note from what people liked about the Civivi knives and just left it sterile. Beautiful. We know it's a WE because there's the WE logo on there. And truthfully, I think WE does that with a lot of their own knives, but they also put the designer's name on there. You know, sometimes they put the steel on there. Truthfully, oh, you know what? It does. It shows the steel right there. S35VN. Can you guys read that? So S35VN, it's the only thing on the blade. I like that. I like that a lot. On top of that, despite it being a satin finished blade, we don't have too much sharpness up here. You can see it's catching my fingernail a little bit. Not that big of a deal. It's why I prefer a tumbled blade. Sorry about that. I had to cut the video. Somebody rang my doorbell. Anyways, I think we were talking about the blade. I kind of like to see tumbled finishes on knives. I'm kind of tired of seeing satin finishes. The tumbling helps knock down those edges that sometimes remain a little bit sharp on a satin finished blade. But some people really like the satin finish. You know, it's going to show scratches a little bit more. Whatever. There's nothing wrong with this blade at all in terms of the little bit of sharpness up here. It's just fine. There's a flat that carries out about 65% the length of the blade. This is a thin blade, and it comes to a very needle-like tip. Can we even focus on that tip? Yeah. Very, very needle-like tip. Now, that's the product of a blade like this. The edge is unbelievably thin. Unbelievably thin. If you're somebody who really you really get the rush out of a blade that can slice and slice efficiently, I'm talking to you open L people, that thing will cut. That is perhaps one of, if not the sliciest blades that I have ever felt in my life. You have to be careful with the tip. This is obviously not a hard use knife, but Will it cut? Yes. Will it cut efficiently? Yes. Will it cut continuously without the edge going dull? It's S35VN. I mean, it's going to dull at some point, but it has great edge retention. Wow. The edge is done insanely well. This is obviously a WE knife. You know, in terms of the quality of the blade, it just feels it feels a step up from Civivi. It really does. Wonderful flipping power considering how lightweight that blade is, but it's just great. You can choke up on this blade, about a single knuckle. Any more than that, and you're going to run your finger up on that blade. And as you saw just a moment ago, I just about took the tip of my finger off. Fortunately, it caught my fingernail. That blade is going to cut, definitely. I'm actually kind of glad that it's not fall shutty because it might take your finger off. Just the right amount of detent power for that thing, and I like it. I like the forward choil. I like the jimping back here. The jimping feels very similar to what I expect on a Civivi knife. I would have appreciated if it was a little bit more forward, but that's fine. Very good looking, straightforward knife with some dressiness on the scales. The milling is slight. The texturing offers a slight advantage in holding on to it, but really the ergonomic lines are good. You can just barely get a full grip on it. I wear an XL glove, so if your hands are about the same size as mine, there you go. If they're a little smaller, you might have a little bit more room. If you're a little larger than me, your hands are a little larger than mine, then you might have your pinky slipping off the end of it, but makes good use of the handle room. Flipping over to the other side, you can see there is a lanyard hole, and it is, for whatever reason, they decided to prioritize it above the clip, but in any case, there's only that much of the blade sticking out, so I don't really care. I wish that it wasn't there, but okay, whatever. There's a nice flush backspacer that's the same color, and I like that. This does have a steel lock bar insert that doubles as the over treble stop. You can see there it's locking up at, we'll call that 50%, and the blade is centered. It also has a nice clicky detent. We didn't really talk about that. Click, I like that. Love the pocket clip. It's got a little bit of a bill. It's going to catch on stuff, but it's titanium. It's a little more forgiving. What's nice is the screws are recessed. They even anodized the screws for the pocket clip. It's nice. Really like that. It's weird. It's like the flaming doesn't really go with the look, but oddly it kind of does. I like it. I like the clip. It's cool. Here's the best thing about this knife. Like I said, this is kind of a Civivi WE. It's like what everybody liked about Civivi, which is the really thin blade stocks, the really thin edge geometry, right? The sterile blades that are, you know, usually some variation of drop point or spear point, right? Always good looking. And then you have WE's build quality, so you get to enjoy titanium. And they managed to do this, give you a reasonable amount of, a good amount of cutting edge, good ergonomics, right? And then excellent build quality, tolerances, all the little tiny nitpicky things that people look for. And then for a price that is really excellent. These knives can be picked up, or this one can be picked up for, I think it's a 165-ish, this particular one. Yeah, I'm on board with that. All titanium and S35VN, and we have like this amazing EDC knife. I mean, people who, you know, can't carry a knife that's over 3 inches in blade length, you know, you're going to miss out on this. And then, of course, left-handed people, this is a right-handed frame lock. You can mount the pocket clip on the left side, you know, so somebody who's right-handed, I can show you. These are pretty easy to manipulate, no problem, right or left hand. It's just a little more convenient for a right-handed person. This is an excellent, excellent knife. This is, I mean, surely, and this thing will continue to build momentum and be, you know, very, very popular. I don't know if it'll be WE's most popular model, but my goodness, you know, for people like, you know, wanting to experience a titanium frame lock flipper that's a little bit more dressy, right? That's got the premium steel, that's made well, but they just can't bring themselves to spend $250 or more. Well, here's your chance to pick one up. I mean, there are other titanium frame locks out there with S35VN and M390 that are, you know, that are around the same price, sure. But specifically for people who are like, I want all that, but at the end of the day, I want it to emphasize cutting performance, sliciness. I want that thinness behind the edge, and I want it to be an object that is lightweight and carries easily. This is your guy. This thing is at home in an office, if it's okay to carry it there. Cocktail party, church, you know, I mean, it's ultra lightweight. It carries deep. You're not going to notice it. You know, it's not an overly scary object. You can, you know, wear it in sweatpants. You can wear it in jeans. I mean, it's just a great, great knife. I very much recommend it. There will be links, as many links as possible, but I have a feeling these would be gone for a little bit and then come back and maybe be gone. I don't know. I don't know, what the availability of these is going to be like in the future. If you want this knife, pick it up because the value on it is excellent. The value is absolutely there. It's not one of those times where I'm like, it's great, but it'd be a lot better if it was 20 bucks less, right? No, this knife is worth exactly what they're asking for it. I'm very, very happy with it, and I don't have any issues with it. I mean, really, I suppose if I was going to complain about little things, the bill on the pocket clip, right? The lanyard hole doesn't need to be there. The area up here, it's not sharp, but it's sharp enough to catch my fingernails a little bit, right? You can see just a little bit there. And I'd prefer a tumbled blade. Okay, can I overlook all that stuff for the price? Oh yeah, yep. This is great, love it. This is everything I love about Civivi and everything I love about WE wrapped into one easy to carry knife. Excellent. I think this was a shorter than normal review. It's hard to tell because I split the video. But I think that's about all I have to say about it. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on this Metal Complex logo right here and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.